Hi, and welcome to Connections. I'm your host, April Healy. I'm sitting here with my good friend, Jenn Stockman. She's also the first-year director of Bethel Atlanta School of Supernatural Ministries. Hi, Jen. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy you're here. So today I'd love to talk to you about first year, actually, in the school ministry.
Great.
And so can you tell us how you guys got here, like how you and Justin moved all the way across the state to get here?
Yes. Well, almost 5 years ago, we moved
crazy.
over here, and some of our dearest friends, Scott and Lacey Thompson, had moved to Atlanta from Humboldt County, where we were doing ministry and life together. And so we had come to visit them several times in the process of them just living here and working at Bethel Atlanta. And we would speak in the school when we came to visit them, and really got introduced to Bethel Atlanta through our relationship with them.
Oh, wow.
And about 5 years ago, Bethel Atlanta ended us offering both Justin and I jobs, and we just felt the wind of the Holy Spirit just blowing us over here. So we have been here for 5 years now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
When you got offered the job, did it feel shocking? Was it like a shock, or did you feel that coming?
I did not feel that coming. It was a surprise. So we were serving in a church in the community we were born and raised in, both Justin and I. So
awesome.
I thought we were going to die there, just giving our lives for revival.
Yes.
And loved our community and our church there. So it definitely felt like it came out of left field, and just feeling such a drastic assignment change. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, we just really felt the Holy Spirit on it, and just made that sharp left turn.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's been a wonderful, wild adventure. We've loved it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I love that you're here too.
Yes.
What is one of your most favorite things about teaching first year?
Well, I love the first year environment, and probably because I was so impacted in my first year experience in Reading. So I went to first year when I was 19 years old, and it was, to this day, one of the best decisions I've ever made with my life. Because of the internal transformation that took place for me personally, I really became an entirely different person in the process of going to the School of Ministry in Reading and being immersed in the culture there. So I love seeing lives transformed and seeing the beauty of who Jesus is, the reality of the kingdom that's at hand. I just love watching people grab a hold of that reality and have their lives just turned upside down in the best possible way, as their spirit just wakes up to the reality of who they are and who they belong to.
Yeah.
So that part of my job is just so beautiful.
That's so cool. So how do you and your team introduce people to what BASSM is when they arrive at first year?
Well, our biggest value is living what we're teaching. So we're really, as a team, just creating culture within our team, within ourselves, of the reality of what it means to live in revival, in personal revival, in the manifested presence of Jesus. And so the biggest deal is we're protecting the values that we're teaching. We're protecting the reality of what we believe in our everyday lives, in our personal relationships with each other. And so we're really living the Jesus model of I only hear what my Father hears and repeat what I hear. Yeah. So that's really the goal, is just to do all ministry from His presence. And so we're looking to create an environment in first year where the presence of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit is the most valued attribute of the entire program.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
What are some stories that you have as a revivalist that you've done yourself, where you've like put yourself out there on the limb and gone after revival?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my journey started in this culture of being introduced to Bethel Redding when I was down in LA attending Biola University, a super conservative college. And I was just 100% intending to get some awesome degree and just be awesome in some way. And
Be the awesome
had just
Jenn.
dreamed of going to college and getting some sort of significant degree my whole life. I wasn't sure what it was going to be, but I definitely had a drive and ambition to accomplish something incredible. So mid-year, I had one of my very first ever encounters with the presence of Jesus that I didn't know existed. And I was alone on my dorm floor because I'd come back from Christmas break early. And I walked into my dorm and there was this presence in the room that just totally caught me off guard. And my heart started racing and I just fell on my knees. And I remember thinking, what is this? I had no idea this measure of hope and peace and really just an atmosphere of heaven was accessible. And
That's awesome.
I just waited there in literally the best feeling I had ever felt in my whole life. And I saw this picture of myself and future husband at the time, we weren't married, standing in front of Bethel Church. And I just knew a little bit about Bethel Church because of friends that we were connected to. And I knew instantly that the Lord was asking me without any words being exchanged to withdraw from college and reroute my entire life to attend the ministry school there. And in the moment, just 10,000 yeses welled up in my heart that I would do anything in this atmosphere of just Jesus. And so my journey really started with just a radical risk in jumping off everything that I had intended for my life and diving in to this culture that at the time wasn't super well respected because it was a little scary. It was way smaller than it is now. And the majority of the people in my life were hesitant about the reality of what was going on at Bethel Church. So I think that invitation to live with a wholehearted yes, even when we don't understand or see, is the journey that I have been on for the last lots of years of my life.
Since you were 19,
Yeah.
or maybe even sooner.
Yeah.
That's really cool. When you felt the presence in that room and you fell to your knees, what did it feel like? You could have ignored that presence, or did it feel so strong that it wasn't? Do you know how sometimes Jesus comes and you can almost miss it, or you can decide like, nope, I'm too busy, I'm making sandwiches or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, did the presence come where it was super noticeable, or one where you chose like, oh no, I'm gonna lean into this one?
Yeah, for this specific experience, it was overwhelmingly noticeable.
Okay.
Yeah. And there was definitely nothing else that could have grabbed my attention the way that experience grabbed my attention.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
And then I know first year teaches a ton about identity and you knowing who you are. Can you tell us how you found your identity when you went through the school ministry in Redding?
Yeah, the most significant process for me, even still, in learning identity and walking out identity, has been just learning the way that Jesus sees me, and the presence of someone who believes in you way more than I ever believed in myself. And I remember right in the thick of that, whole transition of being called to go to the school of ministry, I had this vision where I saw this huge eye, like an eyeball. Okay. And I felt the Lord say, this will be the only reflection that you see yourself in. And I saw myself in the reflection of his eye. And I've just had this steady invitation to only see myself as he sees me, and just having permission to think of myself the way that he thinks of me, and that allowing that to be my standard of truth and my standard of reality in my life.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Well, Jenn, thanks so much for joining us. You're so full of wisdom and brilliance, and I just love having you on the show.
Oh, thanks, April. What a joy to be with you.
Thanks. I love you tons.
Love you.
And you guys, thanks so much for joining us. We love you, and we would love to have you back next time.